Yes, sir. Welcome back to the Contested NBA podcast. I'm your host, Max Tepper, with co-host number one, Ethan Cope. Say hello to the people.
What's going on, everyone?
Co-host number dos, Alex Toma. Say
What's
what up to
going
the people.
What's going on, y'all? Happy New Year's.
Oh, yeah. It's a new year.
Yes.
We did mean to record another podcast before 2020 ended, but, there wasn't much to talk about, so whatever. We pushed it to like the third day of 2021. But either way, let's get on with it. So, like I said just now, it is January 3rd, 2021. When you guys are listening to this in the next few days, the standings will change a little bit, but overall, they should reflect somewhat of what we're talking about tonight. First of all, we're going to go into the news about Spencer Dinwiddie just for a couple minutes. And then the bulk of the episode is going to be about looking at the standings right now and going team by team and seeing whether their early season record is any indication of how their season is going to go. Then we'll just do a couple of New Year's resolutions at the end, spend a couple minutes on that. But let's start off with Spencer Dinwiddie, which recently, I think this was still in 2020, right? So it's like a week ago or so.
It was earlier this week.
Right. So the Nets announced that he sustained a partial ACL tear, which from a fan's point of view is the same as a total tear, which is gone for the season.
Yeah.
So let me just say real quick, I think if you're a Nets fan, I think you should be extremely worried. And I don't think I really am one of those people that thinks because of this injury, I don't think the Nets can win the championship this season.
You think that?
It's going to be harder for them to make the finals, and I think it's nearly impossible for them to win the championship now.
Ooh.
I would just say right off the bat, I disagree. We all know
we're done.
But not to downplay the type of player Spencer Dinwiddie is. Coming into the season, we all agreed that he would be, if he came off the bench, he would be kind of a six-man candidate. But to start the season, he was starting, and
yeah,
he did provide another ball handler with KD and Kyrie, and a pretty solid third option. I think he's clearly the third best player on that team. Before he went down, and I think it will hurt them more during the regular season when they're kind of trying to rack up some wins. But at the end of the day, in the playoffs, you got KD, you got Kyrie. On most nights, you're going to have two of the best players on the floor, honestly, in the East. So I still think I would have them as the favorites coming out the East, even with the Dinwiddie injury, just because I think KD and Kyrie are that good as a duo, even though it hasn't showed so far this season.
Yeah, and I can kind of see where Max is coming from, but
for sure,
I think Dinwiddie is definitely. It's clear that he's their third option, and losing your third option is significant. But I don't think it's significant enough to say that. I don't think their chances of winning the finals or making it to the finals went down that much. Obviously, if you boil down the numbers and everything, it'll say they don't have, you'll see that they don't have as much of a chance in the final or to make the finals or whatever they are trying to do this year. But I think for the Nets, as long as the injuries don't pile up, which now could be a concern, saying, you already got Dinwiddie down this early in the season and he's done for the year. But unless the injuries pile up or you lose Kyrie or Kevin Durant, I think they'll be all right. I think they can recover from losing someone like Dinwiddie.
Yeah. Here's why I say no. Because, okay, so you have KD and Kyrie as the main shot creators. Spencer Dinwiddie was the third shot creator. Karis LeVert is the fourth. Who's the fifth and sixth? Tyler Johnson, Chris Chiozza. Those guys are going to have to – what?
I was going to say
Joe Harris? Joe Harris?
What's wrong with Joe Harris?
Joe Harris isn't a bad – Joe Harris
I wouldn't say he's a shot creator.
He's not a
Yeah,
shot.
but he's
Okay, that's fine. Okay,
he's a
okay, never
shooter.
mind.
He's a
Yeah,
shooter.
yeah.
No. He's definitely a very integral part of their system. But that's not my point. I'm talking about
Okay,
like
yeah. You're
guys
right,
who
you're
can
right.
create for what Spencer Dinwiddie brings. He's athletic. He can score. He can create for others, and especially he can get to the basket really easily. He just rounds out that team so much nicer. And he's the fourth guy on that team that can go off for 20 points in a single night. Two of those guys, Katie and Kyrie, would be weirder if they got 20 points than 30 points, really. But the point is, he's another 20 points per game, at least 20 points per game scorer that they're missing. He's a huge part of the rotation. I think the guys that are going to take his place, like Tyler Johnson and Chris Chiozza, are not nearly as good and don't bring nearly as much as what Spencer Dinwiddie could bring.
Yeah, I think that's a fair argument. I just don't feel like it completely ruins their chances of winning the finals.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't have him winning it in the first place. I saw him as like the second, third, somewhere between second and fourth.
Making the finals.
No, but like I don't think like I don't know. I really don't think they can win it now.
No, I get your point for sure, but I mean, when I look at the teams at the end of the day, like losing Spencer Dinwiddie does hurt. He is a part of their rotation, but to me, he's not going to swing a potential series with Milwaukee or Philadelphia or Boston.
Could against LA though, one of the LA teams.
It could.
That's what I think.
But
That's why I think it's a lot because I mean the LA teams, their defense, both teams' defense is really good. Well, Lakers, we'll get into their defensive problems later, but in general, both of their defenses are really good. That's another shooter that you're losing, another perimeter guy who can score from pretty much anywhere. So it might not be as big of a problem against Milwaukee or Boston or Philly, but against the LA teams, against those really tough defenses, against guys that you can't scheme against, like Kawhi, LeBron, AD, that's tough.
I knew Alex was gonna add that shit.
Moving on. No. Paul George has been hooping.
Nah, I understand your point. It is a big loss for the Nets for sure. Like what you've been saying, Dinwiddie provides that, third option with his shot creating stuff. But I just think they still have a good chance as long as Kyrie and Katie are out there together, obviously.
Well, obviously, that's their dynamic duo.
Yeah, and adding on to Alex's point in the playoffs, I feel like that's just when playoff rotations they get down to like 8 people, maybe 7 if the games are close.
Yeah.
But I think you still got LeVert, Joe Harris, Jared Allen.
Shamit's been ugly to start the year, but if he could pick it up at some point,
and
it could help.
I think Shamit will be all right, and he'll probably get some playoff minutes. But I still think they would be all right. Maybe, like Alex said, it would hurt them in the regular season mostly, but I think for a run in the playoffs, they could be all right for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I feel like we all discussed that in pretty great detail. So let's move on to the standings. Let's take a look at these. So we're not, by the way, just full disclaimer to you guys, the fans, or just people listening, I guess. But we're not going to cover every team in depth because some teams are they're not worth covering. So, but we'll start at the top of the East with Philadelphia. They have a 5-1 record right now. Or I guess that we shouldn't say their record number, but we'll just say that they're at the top of the East because by the time you're listening to this, it might be a different record. But you get the idea. So, yeah. What do you guys think?
I think they've looked really good. I know we've slandered Doc Rivers a lot on this podcast, but I think he's done a good job with the Sixers this year. I think Seth Curry has proven to be a really great addition from this offseason. Tobias Harris has stepped up. Joel Embiid has been playing, as Joel Embiid normally does. One of the most dominant big men in the league. And I think really the only concern about the 76ers is still Ben Simmons' lack of I cannot speak English. Lack of progression, because still the same player we've been watching since he's came into the league.
Yeah.
And
Better defender.
eventually,
But
he's always been.
yeah.
He was a first team all defender last year, though.
no, I mean he's since he's entered the league, he's become a better defender.
Oh,
but other
well,
than that,
yeah. But I mean, his main, main point that everyone talks about with Ben Simmons is his offensive game, and he's shown that he's done nothing to improve that. So I think eventually that comes back to bite him, especially if you see, Tobias Harris may regress because he's been off to a really hot start. And I don't think a lot of people are sure if he can really keep that up the whole year. And maybe he can, but because he did have his best career season under Doc Rivers. Alex mentioned in the group chat with the Clippers a few years ago. But I don't know. It's interesting. I think the one really big question that the 76ers still have is just Ben Simmons. And I mean, besides that, they've looked really good, but I think that's just their one still big question.
okay, so you know what? Let me get Alex take this.
Okay. I mean, I mostly agree with what Ethan said. Tobias is having a good start to the year, and like you said, it probably will regress most likely. Just because he's like not that caliber player most of the night consistently, but he did have his best year under Doc Rivers before he was traded to Philly. So whatever it is, Doc knows how to utilize Tobias well. And like you said, Ethan, I don't know if
It's the ISO game.
Yeah, I don't know if the Sixers are reluctant to like include Simmons in a Harden deal, or the Rockets are just saying no, we think we could get a better deal than Simmons at some point. But if Philadelphia has Harden on the table for Simmons and whatever amount of first round picks it is, and they don't do it, it's going to come back to bite them. They've had a good start to the year. Their schedule has been, they've been beating the teams they should beat. 5-1 so far. The best team they did beat, I think, was I don't even know. It probably was Toronto, or because all the
I
other
have
ones
no
are.
clue.
They beat like New York, Charlotte, Washington, and then they beat Toronto recently. So they've done what they're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, if Simmons is your second, I think Simmons is their second best player, and um, I don't think he's good enough for them to really compete honestly with a team like the Brooklyn Nets or the Boston Celtics, and maybe even the Bucks, depending what Giannis can do. So I think they got to make if the Harden moves on the table and they're just sitting on it, I think they're making a huge mistake.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to. Oh, okay. So real quick, do we think 76ers at the top of the East, not first seed, but relatively at the top, is that sustainable for the rest of the season?
I think they can. I just think when it comes back to bite them, it'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
could be a top 3 seed, but
Yeah, I had them as the 3 seed before the season started, but
yeah, I had them as the 4th seed. I think they'll probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a top 3 seed, but I think they're more of a team in that 4 to 5 range when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I don't think they're really. I think it's just going to come back to bite them in the playoffs because you could see what Boston did to Embiid last postseason and sure, Embiid, I don't know, averaged like 30 and like 13 or something, but there were points towards the end of the games where they would just attack Embiid and there was like no one else anything could do about it. And sure, Ben Simmons is big, he can drive to the paint and stuff, but eventually that's just like teams are going to adjust to stop that.
He's easy to scheme against.
Yeah, so I just think that would come back to bite him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But so I think it's sustainable for the regular season.
I'd agree.
Okay, so next we have Orlando, second in the East. Is this to last or not?
No, I don't even have much to say on Orlando. No.
There's a few teams in the East right now that I don't think are sustainable.
Yeah.
They're
I got it up right now.
I mean
so
they're playing good basketball, but it's yeah.
Yeah.
I think with a lot of bad teams that get off to hot starts, it's like they get off to hot starts, of course, but then when teams start to like understand how to win against them, that separates them from like the better teams because it's like, you know, teams are going to adjust against you, but can you adjust against their adjustments? And the bad teams can't. And we'll see later on that they won't be able to. It happens every year.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Third in the East, Indiana Pacers. I think the main question is first of all, even though it's early in the season, they look really good.
Sabonis is a monster.
So Bobo, did
only-
we underestimate them?
I think we did a little bit, and actually, I think we did a lot of it. I don't think we had them making the playoffs, low key, but
No, you didn't.
oh well, I didn't have them making the playoffs, but
Oh,
I
maybe
just
I
thought they'd
didn't
have a
either.
down year. But
I don't
I
think
don't remember.
I don't think any of us had to make the playoffs, but continue, Ethan.
Sabonis has really stepped up this year, like Alex just said, and Oladipo has looked really good. Malcolm Brogdon continues to, run that offense well. I guess the question for them right now would be what happens now that TJ Warren is injured, even though I don't think TJ Warren is like that impactful of a player. But, he's still, a bucket getter for the Pacers. So, they'll have to adjust without TJ Warren. As a 2, or what are they? Oh, 3 seed right now. I don't think that's sustainable, but I could see him like hanging on to like a 5th or 6th seed maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say we might have underestimated them a little bit. I had them in the conversation for that 7 to 8 seed, kind of scraping in. But the way some teams are struggling early, if they could sustain that early success, maybe I could see them ending up with that, like last year they were a 4, 5, 6 seed range. I'd be surprised if they continue being a top 3 team, but I still think their ceiling is probably that middle of the pack in the East.
Yeah, and that's I think one of the biggest questions with Indiana is like they have this really like they have a good team, and they have a lot of. First of all, they have a lot of players that you would want on your team.
Yeah.
But then the question always goes like, what is their ceiling? I mean, they don't have any superstars. They have all-stars. They have 2 all-stars. And you kind of need supers, and you kind of need superstars to win. So it's like, what is their ceiling? What is their angle here? They have a new coach. Sabonis is eating, munching, as the kids say. Victor Oladipo doesn't look like he's, fed up with the organization.
I was going to say, yeah, it doesn't look like he wants out as much as people were saying he wanted out.
Yeah.
So
I don't know what the end. I mean, is the end goal a championship? I don't think that can happen. But
no,
we'll see.
I mean, they would, if in order for them to make a deep playoff run, I think you really need everyone, including Miles Turner as well. I forgot to mention him, but I think you really just need that whole starting lineup to like. You would need them to really step up and be on their A game every game from all 5 players, and I just don't think that's possible.
And like you said, Matt, the end goal for them is probably not a championship, and that's okay. Like, not all teams have that kind of goal, especially a team like Indiana. Like they have Sabonis, they have Oladipo, they have Brogdon, and for them, maybe it's important to just keep a winning culture and a stable franchise in Indiana. But no, I think most of their players kind of capped out at what they were. I don't think Sabonis. I could see Sabonis, continuing to improve, but nothing major. Oladipo is what he is. I think Brogdon is what he is. So I think they're kind of capped out at their ceiling, but it's fine just being a solid ass perennial playoff team. I don't think there's.
I think that's
wrong
cap,
with that.
man. First of all, the Pacers back in the day, they were dudes that tried to upset your favorite teams. I mean, they almost took down MJ. They went to the finals with Kobe, battled the Pistons, then almost took down LeBron. I mean,
right, but that's what I'm saying.
They never made it all the way.
they never made it all the way, and I'm just.
But they tried.
Yeah, and that's
That's-
what I'm saying. Like not all teams win a championship, but I think it's good that instead of just completely tanking out and trying to, just get high draft picks every year, I think it's fine to be a team that's a stable playoff contender every year.
Yeah, but I mean, those teams had championship aspirations. This team doesn't. There's a difference.
Yeah, but
Anyway, so the 4th seed.
Wait, what?
I don't know
the
what
state of how Indiana is and what their future is what they're going for is a very long discussion because it can go many ways.
what I think they're going for right now is being a respectable franchise, honestly.
Oh, that's crap. Anyways, no, I'm just kidding. No, that's obviously respectable. But anyways, so 4th seed, Cleveland Cavaliers. Is this sustainable?
No.
What?
Colin Sexton is cool though. He's all right.
Hey, fantasy players who got Colin Sexton.
Yeah, no.
I'm in on the
I
hype.
don't feel like there's any need to discuss why the Cavs aren't a sustainable playoff team.
I think you're a hater.
No, I think they got some nice talent. I like Garland before the draft last year. When
They could be like a 10 seed. That's cool.
Oh no, that you got to remember. There's a play-in this year, so I think they could be part of the play-in tournament for sure.
Okay,
That's their
fair.
ceiling.
Yeah,
That's
their
just
ceiling.
the
Dude,
last
come
seed in
on,
the
bro.
play-in.
Andre Drummond, revenge season. You guys don't believe in it?
Next question.
Okay.
Andre Drummond's a nice.
This dude's putting up
player.
like Hakeem numbers right now.
He's putting up nice fantasy numbers, but I mean,
Yeah.
most impactful thing the Cavs. Just shout out to the Cavs locker room dance video. Just
Yeah.
something.
That was
Y'all
awesome.
gotta watch that.
Got all the people at home got to check out the Cleveland Cavaliers like dance video where they're dancing to Pop Smoke. It's the funniest thing.
Andre Drummond looks dumb as shit in that video.
It's so funny. Anyways, Atlanta Hawks, they're 5th seed in the playoffs right now, or in the East. I don't think they're going to be the 5th seed, but a playoff spot for them, is that so much? Is that too far out?
Nope.
No, not at all.
Trae Young is on some bullshit this year.
I think Trae Young. I was talking to our friend Joey, who's been on the podcast before. I think Trae Young. I mean, we both were saying it, but Trae Young is definitely like a dark horse MVP candidate this year.
Well, I don't know, because I don't think the Hawks will get that high of a seed, but I do. One thing
Dark
I do
horse,
think,
though. Dark horse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one thing I do think Trae is doing though, I still think Luka's obviously like the better player between the two, but at least now it doesn't look like such a horrendous kind of trade that the Hawks did. Trae Young's putting up numbers and now they're winning because they actually have some help around him, and he's not playing with 40-year-old Vince Carter and Alex Len. So now he's got some talent around him, and this is a good part in his growth as a player, for sure.
It's a good start for the Hawks to develop Trae, to get those early playoff runs in his career, so that way by the time he reaches like 24, 25, like they can really compete. I think I said this before, like the Hawks' strategy is really good because they have all these contracts that are going to expire at the time then where Trae Young is going to take that like mid-20s leap.
Yeah.
And that's when they're really going to contend. So in theory, hopefully. So 6th seed in the East, Boston Celtics. Obviously we'll make the playoffs, but any notable observations about their season so far?
I mean, I'll take this one as the Celtics fan, but
okay.
I said before the season started that I think they're gonna kind of start the season a little slow, especially without Kemba. I mean, the only thing I could really point out is that it hasn't seemed like Tristan Thompson can really fix like their interior issues. Like I kind of hoped he would, but he's definitely helped. He's been solid, but he's been
rebounding.
Yeah,
nicely.
He's also been on minute restrictions. So I think as the season goes along, he'll be playing more minutes instead of 25. He'll probably be getting around like 30 maybe by the end of the year. You got Kemba back in probably a month, but I mean, I can't really complain. Tatum's playing well, and I think the big part of Tatum's game that really needed to improve this offseason was just like more playmaking ability, which he's shown, especially today. I mean, he had 24, 8, and 12 today. And then you get this huge leap from Jaylen Brown this season, who just, I don't know, is just unconscious when he steps on the court this year. Averaging, I think, almost 30 points so far. And yeah, it's 7 games, but still. So yeah, I'm not worried about the Celtics. And I kind of expected them to have a slow start to the season. And I definitely don't think they'll be as low as a 6 seed. I think really the lowest they can get is like a 4 seed.
Yeah, I would say top 3 is probably their like floor. Just kind of like what you said, they started a little slow, but they have a couple good wins, against the Pacers, and the Bucks on opening night.
Mm-hmm.
I think their only like really like bad loss was not the last game against the Pistons, but the one before that.
Yeah.
Those are kind of the games you want to like pull out, but it's the start of the year, and I think they'll pick it up. They're still waiting on Kemba to get back. So
Yeah. So I think they'll be fine.
All right, so 7th seed, the Knicks.
Nope.
Let me just say, as
What?
like a
Yeah, Max, go ahead.
I'm not a Knicks fan per se, but I've always liked the Knicks. Let me just say, I'm a little happy right now because the Knicks aren't doo-doo for the time being. They will be once they hit that like 20-game mark. Julius Randle is
Julius
playing,
Randle and RJ Barrett have been playing well.
yeah, which is credit to Tibbs. Should be in the conversation for Coach of the Year for making that work for even 6 games. I mean, that is.
Did you see Bobby
is some
Portis's
fun.
tweet?
No.
He had like a 20 and 10. He had a 20 and 10 game, and then a Knicks fan like tweeted out at him. He's like, "Why didn't you do this for us?" And he was like, "Because there were 6 power forwards on the team." It's like, to me, the Knicks are still like a wonky ass team. Like, it still doesn't seem like they have the pieces to fit. But so far, Tibbs has them looking better than they have in recent years. So
They're a respectable
credit-
team so far.
yeah,
Credit to Tibbs coaching, if anything. So 8th seed, Milwaukee Bucks. Is this anything to freak out about?
no.
I would argue so, but I'll explain.
You know what? I think I might be
It's
a
like
little 50-50, like Max just said.
it's that cap, but still, like they're not. They'll still be like a top team. They'll still be a top team to finish off the year, but I think the concerns with Milwaukee are still the same. I mean, you added Drew, which is great, of course, but as long as Giannis doesn't have a reliable move to go to in the playoffs, the Milwaukee Bucks have the same problem as the 76ers. So
it seems like the Bucks. It seems like all the players on the Bucks are playing pretty well except Giannis. I feel like Giannis has not looked good at all. Especially, maybe he's had a couple games, but I forgot what game it was when they blew out Miami or whatever by like 50 points.
yeah,
he only had 9 points.
Yeah.
I mean, that's disgusting, man. And I feel like teams are really starting to figure out how to build out. I don't want to sound like, but build that wall around to contain Giannis. I mean, it's a Giannis stopper, and I think teams are starting to go to it a lot more, which is a problem for Giannis.
It's a problem for Giannis, but it's also crazy because like whenever I watch the Bucks, I'm like, holy shit, Giannis is like, this dude is massive on the court. Like he's so much bigger and like lengthier than everyone else, but he's got to get that jumper to fall, man. It's what it is.
Yeah, his offensive game looked really good against the Celtics, and then I don't know what happened after that. He like just had one really good game offensively. I mean, he was hitting like turnaround fadeaways in the post against the Celtics. He was hitting threes, and I was just like, yo, what the fuck? I was like, I hope I don't have to deal with this now. And then, yeah, it just
and he came back to normal.
Yeah.
And he's honestly, and I don't want to say that he sucks. He's definitely like, compared to what we've normally seen from Giannis, he's been a lot worse than that.
Oh, speaking of which, we forgot to do Defensive Player of the Year.
AD.
Let's
talk about it later. We gotta
We'll
speed
throw
it
that
up.
in at the end of the contest.
We gotta
but,
speed it up though.
Yeah, I think with the Bucks it's the same concerns, and yeah.
All right, so 9th seed, Brooklyn Nets, 3 and 4.
They'll pick
Little
it up.
troubling, but okay. So we
little-
talked about
a little
Spencer
bit.
Dinwiddie before, but like now let's talk about the team.
I would like obviously I don't watch the Nets on a consistent basis. I'll say that now, but kind of reading some stuff about it, it seems like so far their offense has struggled because it's been a lot of ISO ball and it's been stagnant. So I think they're still in that stage of trying to figure out how to kind of gel together. And I wouldn't panic on a 3-4 start. They obviously they had that 2 great opening days against the Celtics on Christmas and then Warriors on opening night, which probably isn't that impressive because the Warriors ain't all that. But I think they'll pick it. I mean, it's Kevin Durant and Kyrie. Like if they're healthy, they'll be just fine.
Yeah.
I think they need to. I haven't actually heard anything about their offense. I would have thought they would have been an offensive powerhouse, but I guess that makes sense having so many shooters around. They're only if only there were a player that can create for others, right?
First time head coach.
He tore his ACL. All right, never mind. Yeah, first time head coach. Also has Mike D'Antoni though. I think a big problem with Brooklyn is going to be defense. I mean, just some of
their defense
they give up like
horrible.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you brought that up, Max, and the defense, they got to stop the DeAndre Jordan playing more than Jared Allen stuff. Like, Jared Allen is clearly better.
Jared Allen's also a much, much better defender.
He's a much, much better defender. Like, he's much better at everything. Like, DeAndre
I know
Jordan
he's much better overall, but if they want to improve their defense, which is clearly their biggest problem right now, Jared Allen is a great rim protector, and that's what you want out of your big man.
Yeah, I also feel like he provides a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's
that dude gets
good.
Up and down the
Jared
court.
Allen is a good center.
There's no reason he shouldn't be the starter on that team at all. I don't care if DeAndre's friends with KD and Kyrie.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Chicago.
Nah.
Well, I was gonna say to speed things up. I feel like the only 2 teams, I feel like Chicago's kind of where we thought they'd be at. Probably out of the playoff race.
I know Max liked them a little more than we did, but
I did, but I don't know. I'm starting to go back. I liked it because they finally they almost seemed like a basketball team because they were running set plays and they were moving the ball a little bit, but I don't know. I haven't heard anything from Chicago camp, so I'm just gonna assume they're just gonna have another bust of a season. There's nothing to look forward to. I mean, whatever. I feel like I'm not crazy in saying let's just move on.
No, the Bulls don't need our.
I was gonna say, just to speed things up a little bit, I feel like the Hornets and Pistons are kind of at where we thought they'd be at. You know, out of the playoffs, tanking, whatever. Not a good team, obviously. But
yeah, Detroit has looked just atrocious.
Yeah, but I feel like we kind of just expected that. I mean, they got an old ass Blake Griffin, old ass D Rose.
Hey, bro.
Hey, some of the greats of our generation, but they're just old now.
Yeah,
their best player is Jeremy Grant, and that's not going to get you anywhere.
Hey, man, Killian Hayes has stunk it up. All right, anyways.
Yeah, but I think
free my man Blake, please. I don't know if he's washed yet, but oh my God, it's bad.
I really think the biggest concerns out of the 3 teams left, I mean, the Heat, Wizards, and Raptors. I think
the Raptors have a lot to worry about.
Oh yeah, because Siakam ain't all that.
They benched this dude for fouling out, and then he fouled out the game that he came back. Isn't that great?
Yeah, Siakam is really.
He's really a baby honest, dude. I'm serious.
I don't know
that in every sense.
I kind of feel bad, but I don't know what happened to him for him to regress so much after being a starting all-star in the middle of last year.
Same thing with Giannis. They schemed against him in the playoffs. It's a copycat league. Now all the teams are going to scheme against him.
Bro, but I didn't expect the Raptors to be like this bad to start.
Yeah, me either.
If they continue it though, they're gonna trade all their veterans. I don't know what veterans they have left, but if they're struggling by the deadline, Kyle Lowry's on his way out for sure.
I don't know, with that expiring contract though, that'd be weird.
I think a lot
Wait,
of
is the
contenders
2-year
would trade for him.
extension? Is this the first year of his extension?
No, I think he's a free agent after this year. No, is he
I'm
not?
honestly not sure.
Yeah, I remember he got the 2-year extension, but I forgot when it kicked in
Okay.
exactly. But either way, Toronto's kind of like in the Indiana situation, except they actually won. Like, I'm not exactly sure what they're playing for right now because they've steadily been losing stars and like key rotation pieces, and they haven't replaced them with guys that are as good.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what they're playing for. I still think they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah,
It's just going to be kind of a struggle.
I'm gonna be honest. I could see them missing the playoffs.
I could too.
They've had a
but I
nice
still
run.
think they will.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm
They
kinda
won't
iffy
miss the
on
play. They
them.
will make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, Miami, I just want. I mean, they didn't have Jimmy Butler for like a couple games, so there's some forgiveness there.
I haven't really watched enough besides the fact that Jimmy Butler's missed a couple games, so I don't really think they have.
They've gotten off to a little bit of a slow start.
I don't think
I
it's
think.
like something to like really, really worry about because I thought they would regress anyways this year. I know Jimmy has missed some time, but I think obviously they'll still make the playoffs. They'll be fine in that sense, but they're not getting anywhere near another finals appearance this year.
I don't know. I don't want to be one of those people that's like, no, man, Miami's not doing that again, and then they do it again.
Okay, well, I'll just say it was a fluke. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Oh
well. I really like Precious Achua, man. I mean, I think I only watched one Miami game, but it was the game against the Pelicans, and that dude was giving Zion the business. No,
he's looked good. He's looked good for the Heat.
He wouldn't like containing Zion, but he was definitely like, he wasn't letting Zion, mess around with him and whatever, just treat him like a chew toy or whatever. He was standing his ground and he looked good. And that was only his third game. So they got another quality piece. I think this is something we should do for every draft. Whenever we talk about the draft sleepers, we should just go whoever Miami picked. That's the sleeper.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's been.
They're just great at developing talent.
That's true.
That's
all right. So
that organization.
All right, anyways. Okay. Washington. Ew.
I think Westbrook is their biggest concern.
Man, I hate to say it, but Westbrook is more of a detriment to your team than helping it win. I don't know. I don't like to shit on Westbrook a ton because he does go out there and gives it his all, but he just ain't it anymore. The dude can't shoot, and the Wizards don't play a lick of defense.
Yeah. Bradley Beal,
all their problems
shooting well.
I feel like all their problems, whether Westbrook is on the floor or not, still exist, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they did. I know people ran away with this, but it was oh, you see, the Wizards finally won their first game, and it was without Westbrook.
Yeah.
But I think
they beat the Nets today with Westbrook. Yeah. So
they did beat the Nets by 1. I think they'll eventually pick it up, but if they don't, I think Scott Brooks is going to be fired soon.
What was concerning today was I sent it in our fantasy basketball group chat, but Westbrook and Beal shot a combined 16 of 50 today.
Hey, man, I know Beal says he wants to stay there, but
I know Westbrook, has 4 triple doubles already this year, but that's really the triple doubles are cool if it helps your team win games. LeBron's triple doubles are good, but Westbrook's triple doubles, I feel don't help in any way. I feel it's just kind of.
I think this year, because I know when he was in Oklahoma, it was they won most of the games. He did have a triple double, but this year for sure it's been a struggle in Washington. It's not crazy to say that John Wall has looked better than Westbrook so far.
And I don't even think it's really lack of talent on the Wizards. I mean, I feel like Thomas Bryant has improved already a lot this year. We kind of saw signs of that last year. You got Davis Bertans, Max's favorite player in the NBA.
Well, okay. Well, he's regressed a lot. He's on my fantasy team, and he's absolutely terrible.
Got $80 million.
Oh dang! I didn't see enough of him. I thought he was just doing his thing.
No, he's been pretty poop. He's also been on minutes restrictions though. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they for sure have some pieces, but it's not a. They'll probably still be a play-in team at the very least. I mean, I don't think they'll be bottom feeders.
No, not bottom feeders.
No.
But I could see them missing the playoffs. I could for sure see it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
let's move on to the Western Conference.
The Clippers.
Yay.
They're fine.
What an interesting 5-2 record they have.
They've made the storylines a couple times.
In case you guys haven't,
I'm still laughing at that Mavs game. That shows it's actually impressive. They lost that by 51 and they still have a positive net rating on the season because they've blown out so many other teams.
That's true, but I mean, losing by 51. And first of all, for all you 13-year-olds out there, it's never going to happen again. That will never, ever, don't overreact. There's between the Mavs, take out for a sec the Mavs shooting lights out and take out the Clippers not being able to hit anything. What you have left is basically the only reasonable basketball to make your judgments off of. Does that make sense?
I know
when you take out all of the extraordinary variables that happened during that game.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that you can really like.
The Clippers shot 16% from 3 in that game. I know it was cool for jokes and shit because everyone likes to shit on them, but game was
literally
that was a whatever game.
Literally, the game was just a once in a million type thing, and the Clippers shot really well, the Mavs shot really well, and the Clippers shot like shit, and that's it. End of day, it's just a bad game for the Clippers.
But I do think the Clippers are vulnerable, and
I think they're less vulnerable. Go ahead.
I think the Mavs were going to win anyways. They just happened to win by 50. They won.
Sure, the Clippers are vulnerable.
The Mavs and their problems so far, but
I think the Clippers are less vulnerable this year than they were last year. I think far to start the year, it's kind of what I said in the previous pod. I think PG is going to play his ass off. Obviously minus the Mavs game, they've actually had a very nice start. They've blown out the Blazers. They just beat the Suns tonight. They beat the Lakers opening night. They beat the Nuggets on Christmas. They had a competitive game against Utah. So, and Batum has been fucking solid. So it's crazy. I didn't expect him to be this good. Dude is just hitting threes, making all the right plays. He's making me forget about JaMychal Green for sure.
How's Ibaka been?
Ibaka's just this thing, 50.
Other than breaking Kawhi Leonard's jaw.
Yeah, other than breaking Kawhi's jaw. But I mean,
Kawhi something different.
The big difference from this year's Clipper teams from last year is that when you swap out Ibaka for Trez, with Zubac and Ibaka, you have more than capable rim protection for 48 minutes all game because one of those guys are going to be out there. And Luke Kennard is obviously a much, much better player than Shamet. And Ty Lue, it's obvious you can see the offense is a lot more fluid with Ty Lue.
I did notice.
They're actually it's a small sample size. It is 7 games, but so far they're averaging 100 more passes per game this season than last season.
What the fuck?
And I just laugh at that because it's true. I've said it many times. Doc did a lot of ISO ball, and I think a big difference from this year is Ty Lue has a lot more motion in his offense. It's a lot more fluid.
Yeah,
and
I see that for sure.
And you see, Ty Lue has a short leash. When Reggie Jackson's fucking up, he yanks him. So that's nice to see.
Reggie Jackson is a very interesting.
He's a very interesting character.
I think Alex said it best when he was like, everything Reggie does just looks accidental.
I remember I just got to mention this play against Denver. I thought he passed it to Patrick Patterson for a 3, but he actually got blocked, and the ball just happened to go into Patrick Patterson's hand. And I was just
So
like,
funny.
"What the hell, man? This guy." I swear, this.
It's
if you
so
search-
crazy. He used to be such a solid role player. Like you could
Dude.
rely on him to put up like 20 points every other
He
night.
he was good in OKC
If
in
you
2014 or whatever.
in 2014, there's actually a clip on YouTube. In the fourth quarter, he looks at Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant, doesn't pass him the ball, and scores. And this is like in a tight playoff game in the fourth quarter. This man has no
That's
fucking.
cool.
This man has no conscience. He's just like, I'm going out there hard. But good start to the year.
Yeah, I think the
So,
Clippers are fine. I
uh,
sorry, I just want to add this, but I hated the bullshit where they were like, "Oh, the Clippers got the same exact problems as last year." Kendrick Perkins, shut the fuck up next time, please. But I mean, after like their blowout loss to the Mavs, it was so obvious that it was just like a fluke game. And then he's like, they got the same problems as last year. Like the Clippers are going to be just as bad this year, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like,
I know after the Mavs loss, he was like, they really dropped the ball not signing Rondo. It's like, yeah, okay, sure.
it's so stupid. It just annoyed me so much.
Oh, and by the way, we're still pending Marcus Morris to come back from injury. So
Honestly, didn't even know he was out, but all right.
yeah,
Yeah.
me neither. All right, Phoenix 5-2. They honestly, that first game that they had was terrible, but then apparently they went 4-1 since then, so it's pretty good. I remember like texting Alex or texting a group chat, and Alex was replying after that first game. I think I overreacted a little bit. I was like, I give the CP3 Devin Booker experiment 2 years at most before it blows up.
it's probably
It's still
what
kind of true.
it's still
kinda
true because CP has 2 years left on his contract. So yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably right.
But I mean, I still think they don't have much defense, but they've been okay.
No, they've been one of the higher defensive rated teams so
Shut
far.
the front door.
I think their biggest question right now is Ayton.
Yeah, he's been a little
Ayton's been
little
off
too
to a slow start.
conservative. I don't know. Like even today,
Past couple games he's been good, but that first like week he's just like, I don't know, he seemed a little like soft. Not saying he's like a like a soft person, but just his play style was just like
he's
soft.
being way too passive. He needs to
Okay,
get that
I need to
ball.
watch more Suns games then.
I just noticed it because he's on my fantasy team and I've been paying attention to him. But bro, if I'm gonna be honest, I literally haven't watched like a single minute of a Suns game yet. But
No, I just watched that first game, and that first game was bad, dude.
I also
That
feel
was
like
bad.
a lot of people expected Devin Booker to take some massive leap this year with CP3, and I feel like we haven't seen that yet. And I
That's
don't
true.
think we've seen that big leap from Ayton we expected this year. But overall, the Suns have looked good because I think they've had players like Mikal Bridges has definitely stepped up.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Who else?
Crowder
I
was
think-
like a nice like vet signing in free agency.
Yeah, Cam Johnson has been a solid.
Cam Johnson,
Mhm.
Javon Carter.
I like Javon Carter. Solid
But,
piece.
Yeah,
Just
I think
CP3 off the bench.
I think their
God.
biggest question going into the year really was like who else they have outside of their big three. And I think it's becoming evident now that they actually do have solid pieces that can. I'm not saying they're winning the finals or anything, but they could probably make a solid playoff run.
Yeah, I could see them being that's like a little second round team, giving a scare for sure.
So I think to stick to the sustainable thing we're doing, Clippers and we'll get to the Lakers, but I think the Clippers are sustainable. I think the Suns are sustainable based on their win percentage right now. I don't know about a 2 seed, maybe like a 3 or 4 seed.
Yeah, 4th seed I think is their like ceiling for sure.
Yeah, I think 4 seed would be cool for them, but
The Suns are that team that are going to, in the second round of the playoffs, when they play either the Lakers or the Clippers, they're going to win game one.
Yeah.
And they're going to ask whatever superstar, LeBron or Kawhi or whoever, They're going to ask him, like, did you guys underestimate this team? And they're going to go, yeah, this is a really good team. Like,
And
we
then
definitely didn't
Swift.
underestimate them, but, we could have gotten some better shots, better looks. And then
Just win
they'll
4
go on
straight.
to win, not 4 straight, but they'll 5 or 6, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But they're that team, everybody knows that team.
Yeah, man. I mean, I wouldn't want to play like Chris Paul and Booker in the playoffs. Like, I don't want that, but they're going to be a solid team.
So, third seed, the Lakers. I guess I'll take over this one. 5-2, third seed. Obviously, I think they're going to get up higher. They're not trying right now. Like, just watch the games. Even the one against the Clippers, they weren't trying. They're not trying. I'm sorry, but they're not. Like, I'm not trying to cover up any losses here. Like, last season, I was so hard on the Lakers every time that they lost. But now I'm just like, they're just coasting. Like, LeBron is – you could see it, bro. Like, LeBron literally tries, like, for a couple seconds every play where he tries to, like, get to the basket quickly. And then the rest, he's just, like, commanding the offense. And he's just kind of lackadaisical. Not counterproductive to the team, though. But, like, he's just doing enough to, like, get the win. Dennis has looked really good. I like Mark. Mark has been good. Any other acquisitions I should talk about? Wesley Matthews.
Oh, yeah.
Wesley Matthews, 3-and-D guy.
I think
Dennis also. I underestimated Dennis's defense for sure. That dude is aggressive on the ball.
I think
Any other
AD
signings
has
I
been
should talk about?
underperforming a little bit.
What are your thoughts on the
AD
reigning sixth man of the year?
Wait, shut up. AD has Anthony Davis is he's not trying either, but he's also like been soft. At least LeBron gets some stats, but AD hasn't been getting like monster stats. So,
yeah.
Anyways, let's move on.
Wait, no, I want your opinion on Montrezl Harrell.
I mean, the first few games, I think he's going to be so inconsistent. By the way, I take back what I said about Dennis Schroeder being a locker room problem. That was just a really bad first impression, but no, Dennis is a cool piece. But Trez, the first couple of games, like he was really good, but I think he's going to be really inconsistent. Like I think what we've seen so far is a pretty good indication of what Trez is going to be, which is some games he's going to like get all the offensive boards for you, have some nice putbacks, not do as much stupid stuff. Yeah. And in other games, teams are just going to like rip him apart and pick and roll. I haven't been paying attention to him that much. His defense.
I watched him today. Holy fuck,
yeah,
dude.
It was bad. Like he leaves shooters open all the time.
Gorgie Dang.
Oh yeah, he does the thing where he leaves shooters open, so when they miss, he could go for the outlet on the fast break. But a lot of times,
oh my god, I literally watched him fucking do that today. I was like,
what the I watched it for like 80 games, but
bro, I saw him do that today, and I was just like,
my favorite play of the year was when he got his shit swatted and then just got postered by DeRozan.
Oh, hey, Trez though, I will say Trez has made more.
Been too bad though.
Not yet. Trez has made more shots outside of the paint this season in like 6 or 7 games than all season with the Clippers. So,
which is
back
fine.
To back. We're going back to back, huh?
You guys are more vulnerable this year than last year, for sure.
For sure. We need some. We missed that JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard action.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think the Lakers' identity this year is different from last year's, for sure.
I think our offense is insane, though. Like our offensive firepower, our potential is pretty insane. Like Dennis Schroeder, LeBron and Dennis Schroeder playing off each other, and then you have the pick and roll option with AD. Kuz will Kuz every now and then, but Kuzma will be Kuzma every now and then. But he's actually been hitting he's like beginning of the bubble Kuzma when he was hitting good shots, playing good defense. So
yeah.
Also, credit to Frank because after that Portland game when Trez finished the game, the last 2 games, 3 games, Frank hasn't he hasn't closed with Trez on the floor.
I was gonna say it's malpractice for a coach to close with Trez on the floor.
I think Frank was just like, let me just make sure like everyone was right. Oh, okay, yeah, they were right. So, anyways, but I think Lakers are still figuring out rotations and they're trying to like close the gap with that the rim protection problem, and they're trying some things out. So we'll see what happens throughout the season. I don't think this is any indication of how the Lakers are going to play, though. Like, I think they're going to play with so much more like firepower, even though their offenses look good, because they're not trying right now. And once they start trying, like, they're going to look a lot better.
Yeah, and even with, the Lakers not looking as good as they can be, obviously, they're still first in the West in points per game, and I think third in the West in opponent points per game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, their offense has been popping.
Yeah, but it's also credit to their defense as well. Like, I still think their defense is solid if they're only allowing 105 points per game in today's NBA, and that's also ranks third in the West. So
true. I thought our perimeter
defense
defense was going to be a big problem, but
it's more so
honestly,
it's now.
Honestly, even with Talen Horton-Tucker, not to be that Laker fan, but but like that wingspan obviously helps him get rebounds over like some guards and intercept passing lane, stuff like that. So he's definitely been able to help out. And we haven't even had Caruso.
Yeah, breaking news: THT is not making the All-Star game, guys.
You take that back.
Yeah.
Clippers lost by 50. What do you want?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway,
I can't hear you from the top of the West. I can't hear you. So.
Doesn't matter about the regular season. All about that jewelry, baby.
Yeah, your Mickey Mouse ring. Continue. Man.
Oh, Jesus.
The other 16 Mickey Mouse or what?
Let's move on. Let's move on. We gotta pick this shit. We gotta pick the pace up.
Fourth seed Utah. I don't think this is sustainable at all. They're gonna drop. I don't think they'll be like a terrible team, but I just don't think they're gonna be fourth seed.
I had them missing the playoffs.
Mitch has been that good either, though.
No, I had them missing the playoffs, but I think I underestimated. No, wait, I had them as like a 7 seed, 8 seed, but I think they're probably better than that. The big thing with them, if Mike Conley hoops, like they're a top 6 team in the West.
I also think they've gotten off to a solid start this year at 4-2, and D-Mitch hasn't even looked that good. So if D-Mitch can pick his game back up, I think they can be a solid like 5 or 6 seed.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So New Orleans Pelicans, this team I am really impressed with. I'm really impressed with what I've seen. Everything except Eric Bledsoe.
Yeah, Eric Bledsoe's straight booty cheeks.
Yeah.
Can Bleacher Report please writing articles on why the Clippers should trade for Bledsoe? Like, please stop. Holy God.
Oh, also, I was going to say one thing about Utah real quick. I haven't watched a second of Utah Jazz basketball. So take everything I say about them with a grain of salt. But the Pelicans, I've actually liked what I've seen so far. BI is on my fantasy team. So, like, I stay winning with that. No, Ingram's been great. I feel like he's taken another leap. He's starting to get into that like upper 20s scoring area. Been able to play make as well. Stan Van Gundy has these dudes playing defense, man. I mean, I forgot at one point they like hadn't let any opponent. I think for their first 3 games they hadn't let any opponent score over 100 against them. What?
Yeah.
They were one of the worst defenses in the league.
Yeah, I was talking about how the Lakers had the third best opponents or the third least opponents points per game. The Pelicans are only allowing 102, which is
it's either first or second.
Yeah, first.
Third best in the league.
Oh, okay. No, Ethan said third in the West for the Lakers. So.
Oh, okay.
I just had to do some quick maths. I got the stats like up on my other monitor.
Dude, but the Pelicans, I don't think they'll sustain the 5th seed. No. But can they make the playoffs though?
Yes.
I don't think it's that far out of question.
No, they're a lock for the play-in. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like worst would be like floor.
I mean, dude, and it's exciting to see like what's going on in New Orleans. I really do think so.
I would say the only questionable part is kind of their offense. I mean, averaging less than 105 points per game, which is
they like flipped from last season.
Yeah, but I mean,
but also Eric Bledsoe hasn't been good. Lonzo hasn't been scoring. He doesn't do much of that anyways, but like
He literally
doesn't
just
look-
hits threes and plays defense.
Yeah,
And
I don't
then,
know. He's like a 3-and-D point
JJ
guard.
Redick hasn't looked good
Basically.
either. They have a couple guys that need to get into like mid-season form, and then I
Yeah.
think maybe they'll start to pick it up. But so far, like
I think
Their
BI's
two
been
main
their best
players.
player so far.
yeah, easily.
Yeah,
But their two best players, Zion and Brandon Ingram, they've looked.
Adams
been-
seems to be
well,
doing
you
his
know.
thing too, though.
Mhm.
Adams has been good too.
I
Just
say that
collecting
only
boards.
because he's on my fantasy team. So I look,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's a solid 8 and 9 right there. Good
yeah, no, Adams is hooping
Adams is
for
playing his role
Adams.
well.
Um,
Adams is playing his role well with the Pelicans. for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, he's doing everything Jackson Hayes could.
Why do you hate
I-
Jackson Hayes?
dude? I've
hated Jackson
like,
Hayes ever since last year when they did the Rising Stars game. He didn't make it, and he like called out the NBA and was like, "How the fuck did Mo Wagner make it over me?"
Oh my god.
I've hated him since then. Like that's some bitch shit, if I'm being honest, to just like to call out a whole fucking professional basketball league as a rookie. Like, bro, you're weird. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, man.
All right, so Portland, they look good.
Overrated. Dame.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Dame.
yeah.
Well,
No,
Dame
no,
hasn't
they're
looked good.
overrated too. And I've never seen a quote unquote superstar get as much as a pass as Damian Lillard does.
I don't know. I
But-
think they look okay to start so far, and I think they have a lot of room for improvement, which they can do. Like a lot of their main players haven't been shooting all that well.
Yeah.
So
Dame
once they get
hasn't been-
that back-
Dame hasn't been shooting well.
Nurkic hasn't looked like himself. But CJ
Yeah.
McCollum has been shooting lights out.
Yeah.
So,
feel
I don't know,
CJ
it's-
McCollum has been their best. Not best. They're not best player, but like.
No, he's been their
terms
best
of, like,
player.
In
He's
terms
had a
of,
hot,
like,
yeah.
in terms of where you kind of expect your players to be, I feel like CJ McCollum is kind of like outperforming in a way, and like Dame and Nurkic are underperforming.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I feel like Dame or CJ has been their best player.
It's give and take with them, but I think they look all right. They look good.
I think once they get into mid-season form, we'll be able to see like the Blazers could maybe do a little damage.
Yeah.
Like maybe win a first round series. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Like-
think that's their ceiling.
Have like a hot scoring streak in like the third quarter of some game, but that's about it, really. Anyways, so the Houston Rockets. This is
Ugh.
weird. They honestly don't
They
look that bad.
They
Your
look
standings
good.
are way different than mine. Are the Warriors not 6th for you?
No, they're not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they're 6 on ESPN.
I'm looking at the NBA one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Same.
Oh,
Rockets
they
are
just like
interesting.
flipped them.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
don't
same
know.
record though.
I don't know how they're doing it on ESPN.
Anyways, Christian Wood is better than Anthony Davis. No, but he's looked very solid to start the year.
Hey,
Shout
he's
out
a
Christian
great
Wood.
most improved player candidate.
His ex that dumped him on draft night. Fuck you, bitch. Christian Wood the GOAT.
Oh my God, Ethan! God damn.
Dude, she's gonna listen. She's gonna stop listening to this podcast. You know
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah, I saw that tweet too. Like, good for Christian Wood then.
He's
Dude,
good. Bro.
he was bad to begin with. Like in his career, imagine your girlfriend breaks up with you on draft night and you can't even like
It's
play
funny.
because you're so bad.
He didn't even say like she broke up with him. He was like, I drove her to the airport and I never saw her again.
I don't
That
know what to
was
say. All right, so
depressing.
Golden State. Oof. I mean, other than Curry scoring,
I just want to
career high
mention
tonight,
Harden just like came in from no like off-season training to like partying to just drop like 40 heads on people.
Yeah, I
So
don't really think you can even be mad at Harden anymore. I mean, he's fat, but he's still gonna give you buckets.
yeah, dude. That,
what was that thing that was like LeBron spends $2 million a year on his body
body?
or whatever, and Harden drinks tequila all night and parties and comes to practice fat and whatever.
Just
Really makes you
dropped-
think.
Yeah, Harden's been a bit we talked about his childish behavior, but he's come in and hooped, and
First game back, he dropped 44 and 17.
yeah, like
That's ridiculous.
man, someone trade for this guy. I don't know if Houston's gonna trade him, but God, it's freaking James Harden, y'all. Stop overthinking.
Good for Harden though that he's like just hooping, like just staying quiet and
He's
like
just
not
doing
being,
his
you know,
job.
a crybaby right now and actually playing productive basketball.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Golden State, what do you guys think? I think I'm much lower on them.
I was just gonna add one more thing with the Rockets. I think John Wall looks really good.
Yeah, that's true. John Wall's looked really good.
He looks kind of, I wouldn't say completely back to his normal self yet, but I feel like he's got to be like 80%, 90% of the way there.
Yeah.
He's getting
quick.
there.
The other night he had a great game with Harden out, and they were able to beat the Kings. They've had a decent start to the year. So I just wanted to add that in. I think Christian Wood and John Wall have been really bright spots for the Rockets so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So the Warriors, you know, this is one of the things we want to talk about. We're like, should we overreact? Should we react to what we've seen so far? And I'm going to just say, like, besides Curry dropping a career high tonight, the Warriors have a big problem.
Dog shit.
We were like, I was saying it before, it was like, it really is Steph Curry and just a bunch of like, it's Steph Curry in a bunch of parts, man. I know James Wiseman.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let me not disrespect James Wiseman yet because he's looked really solid.
Wiseman has had his games for sure, but like Kelly Oubre,
dog shit.
Andrew Wiggins.
Wait, hold on.
You gotta apologize to the American people.
I want to apologize to anyone who watched our podcast and saw that I said Kelly Oubre most improved because I think Kelly Oubre might be most regressed. Because that motherfucker forgot how to play basketball this season. So I'm gonna change my pick to I don't fucking know, dude.
Hop on the Christian Wood train.
Yeah, Christian Wood.
There we go. Yeah, Christian Wood is you know, whatever. Christian Wood's my
the Warriors.
I had to take that back.
Even though Kelly Oubre isn't going to like be that bad forever, I still think it's really just it's Steph and salary fillers. It's Steph and like whatever's left of Draymond.
Horrible.
Yeah.
But Andrew Wiggins has been mid. Andrew Wiggins is a mid-ass player, bro.
Dude, Andrew Wiggins is I know he's the
Andrew Wiggins is
2 years away. Andrew Wiggins is the ultimate 2 years away from being 2 years away from another 2 years away from being good. But it's like, man,
like his day will come.
I feel like for a while now, he's kind of had the label, but he's a bust, bro. The number one overall pick, he dog shit, bro. There's no way he ever should have been a number one overall pick.
He's been bad. How much longer until we get the Curry trade request?
No shot Curry ever requests a trade.
Think so.
He's gonna run the organization. He'll be like mid-season. He's like, yeah, get Wiggins and Oubre's bum asses out of here.
Give it 2 years.
I think it's too nice for that. I don't think there will be a trade request, to be honest.
Nah, he will. I don't think.
Hey man, I'm just saying, like, he's what? How old is he? He's like
30.
32.
32.
Really?
Maybe.
Is he still that young? I thought.
31,
like,
32.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's 32. Like I don't know how many years he got left in the tank, but I really hope he doesn't waste his prime years on this team. That's all I'm saying.
Also, for whoever wrote off Steph Curry after 5 regular season games with this bum ass squad, really just needs to never talk about it.
I just want to. You reminded me, like, anyone saying, "Oh, you know, this was the year for Curry to show like he's the man." Like, this guy was the best player on a 73-win team, y'all. He was the best player on a championship team. What are you guys on?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And there was some argument I saw that made me, bro, that triggered me so much. And it was like, the best players carry bad teams to playoffs. And it was like LeBron's 2007 carrying the Cavs to the finals. But it's like, Bro, I'm sorry. He ain't got Kelly Oubre on that team, bro. Kelly Oubre holds so
Hey,
much
LeBron
back.
had Larry Brown. Come on now.
Larry Hughes.
Actually,
LeBron fans, oh man, they don't like Curry, so Curry's gonna get a lot of shit this year for sure. They're like
Yeah.
still salty that he like
I'm sorry, but
won
Curry
so many finals against them.
he's still the best point guard in the NBA, and there's really no debate.
Yeah.
He's still
I love how he dropped 62 after Dame said, "Oh, it's a lot harder for him to get a shot off now." So Dame said
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I
So
honestly didn't know that he said that. That's pretty funny.
yeah,
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's
Dame
pretty good.
Dalla.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep it going.
What's next? Let me see.
I would
Sacramento. They've
not so-
overachieved so far.
Yeah, no, that's not. I don't think they're gonna make it in the playoffs. So no,
Not sustainable.
not sustainable.
Not sustainable for the 9th seed even. Luke Walton has not been doing. He's benching Hassan Whiteside.
They're gonna have some drama.
That's a
soon,
plus.
though, because Marvin Bagley's dad tweeted out today that he wants the Kings to trade his son away.
Y'all, Marvin Bagley over Luka.
Luke Walton had
Tough.
to deal with LeVar and now Marvin Bagley's dad.
Marvin Bagley the second.
To be fair, Luke Walton isn't a good coach. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Well, no,
But Rashawn
he had a
Holmes
better
has been
record
good.
during the 73-9 season than Steve Kerr.
cool. He sat on the bench while Curry did his work for him.
All right, whatever.
Ugh.
Oh, by the way, you know what? This isn't even worth bringing up. But there was this poll that I saw. I'll just say it real quick, but we don't have to discuss it. There was this poll that I saw online that was like, if you replace the Jimmy Butler's Heat with Curry, do they still make the finals last year? I don't know. Something for you guys to think about.
I don't know if. Yeah, probably. Sure, why not? I don't think.
I feel like they're just two completely different players.
Yeah, I don't.
I
Yeah.
don't think having Curry and Dragic would make
Yeah,
sense.
actually, put Steph Curry in a bubble and see what happens. Yeah, put Curry in a bubble and see what happens.
I don't really. I feel like that's kind of just a weird comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, OKC 10 seed. I don't even think
Whatever.
they can sustain that, but like they're not
No.
trying to.
Yeah.
So
No,
they're doing their own thing.
Yeah, we
Just-
can skip on that.
Denver.
Timberwolves-
For me, it's Denver.
I was
That's
gonna
next.
say, just to get the Timberwolves, Spurs, and Grizzlies out of the way, they'll probably be bottom feeders in the West. So that would.
I think
Well,
so.
Grizzlies is interesting. Grizzlies, they shouldn't be bottom feeders, but unfortunately, they might be.
Ja. Yeah.
Jaws out
Ja.
too long, and they don't get JJJ back until like February, so they're bottom feeders. There's really
Unfortunately.
they're just injuries. They're just holding them back. There's nothing really to speak on, honestly,
Yeah.
unless you have
Minnesota.
some insight that I don't have.
No, I was I watching?
I think
Oh,
they'll
yeah,
still be
I
a
was-
respectable team, but I feel like bottom feeders maybe a little too disrespectful to them because they were in that playoff contention. But when you kind of factor in all the injuries they're dealing with, I wouldn't be
Record-wise,
surprised.
they're bottom feeders, but like real hoopers know, like they're not really bottom feeders.
Yeah.
John Morant and JJJ are gonna come back soon and hoop, but I think it's just gonna be like too little, too late.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. And they don't really have anyone else that can like take charge of a game like that as much as Dylan Brooks thinks he can.
Yeah, I know. That's so true. Like my favorite thing I see
Steve
on
thinks he's
Twitter.
Kobe.
Yeah, like
oh my god.
I like seeing tweets like from other like fan pages, and they're like, "Why does Dylan Brooks get this green light?" It's like, God.
Grayson Allen hit the side of the backboard tonight, by the way.
He hit the back of the backboard tonight.
That's true. Because Kuzma contested the shot.
Bro.
Kuz.
Who
Also, the
likes
Spurs.
Grayson Allen? Does anyone like Grayson Allen? I don't. I
No,
think
he's
no one
still-
likes
People
him.
that know him.
Stupid, annoying little white boy that tries to injure people.
Well,
It's
there
like
goes.
6'6", but like whatever.
Oh,
Um, And then there's Jonas,
go.
but Jonas can't like carry a team like that. He's
No.
not like a
Love
scorer.
Jonas. Go put up 20 and 10 a night.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
San Antonio, they're not gonna make the playoffs, but they actually got like a decent team going.
Yeah, DeRozan has looked good. DeJounte Murray has improved a lot.
A lot.
LaMarcus has been out.
LaMarcus is stiff. That boy's stiff.
Eubanks with
Oh,
the play of the
Devin
year.
Eubanks,
Yeah, Devin Eubanks. That's
I still don't think
the
they're a
next
playoff
Tiago
team, though.
splitter.
They kind
Oh
of
my
just have
God.
like some good pieces, but just in the West, they just don't have enough. And
Becky Hammond coaching her first game after Popovich got ejected. Shout out.
Shout out Pop
Becky
getting
Hammond.
ejected. Shout
Yeah,
out
that's-
Becky Hammond.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Becky Hammond doesn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah.
But Pop had to get ejected for the culture.
Yeah, but that's true for the culture. You know you did that on purpose. He just went home. Fucking
Dude, like he went into the locker room and he sat back and had a beer or something. He was just
Yeah.
like, I'm just gonna enjoy this.
oh
He wasn't analyzing anything.
uh,
Denver. I honestly think they
I want
They
to
look worse for sure.
I was just gonna say, you want to get the Timberwolves out of the way first.
yeah, they suck.
Oh, I thought we already did because we mentioned them.
Yeah.
We just mentioned them once.
Cat's out. They started off nicely. Cat's out now. They're gonna fall.
I'm sleeping
Thank God I didn't draft Cat, bro. I got
in
too
my
many injuries
room
in
with
that
the
game.
AC on
Oh
high.
no. Oh,
What
but
Kendrick Perkins said last year about the Timberwolves.
I
But it's
can't.
true again.
I can't even listen to Cat. Dude, he's so annoying. Oh my God. I just had to say that. Dude makes me furious anytime he speaks.
Talks very slow.
So he also
But
has
anyways.
a crazy like hate bias towards the Clippers. So honestly,
Or anybody that's not LeBron, but hey. Whatever.
I mean, he fucks with the Celtics.
That's true.
Still love that
Former
video.
Celtic. He
of,
fucks with
like-
Doc Rivers.
I love that like video of Kendrick Perkins like doing all those stupid plays. And there's the one where he tries to dunk it and he just misses, like he just hits the
And
net.
it has the dramatic hype music behind it.
Yeah, and then there was the one where he was in New Orleans and he set a screen for no one.
No one. Oh,
Anyways, we
Denver
mentioned the
and Dallas.
Timberwolves.
Denver.
Denver. I think Denver took a step back.
Yep.
Like obviously, I think they'll get a little bit better. They're not going to be 11th forever, but
No.
I think their defense is really a problem.
Yeah, like when we say are their records kind of indicative of what they will be, I don't think it's indicative in terms of they'll miss the playoffs, but I think it is telling that they have taken a step back. Like Grant isn't anything like special, but he fit that team well for what they needed him to do. And for Denver, he's been a big loss. And they're gonna regress. Jamal Murray ain't that, and Jokic is their only like true star. They still have like solid pieces around him, but I think they're gonna regress for sure.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I don't think they're going to be another Western Conference Finals. I don't know. They have like weird problems because they have
really
like such
should
a
have been
complete.
They really
They
should
have
have
like
been
a really
first round
complete
exit.
team. They have a complete team, but like at the same time, so much is missing. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
just they're a strange case.
They're weird.
Their defense definitely needs a lot of help, though. They also Jamal Murray hasn't gotten off to a great start. Neither is Will Barton.
Yeah. Jamal Murray had a good game tonight against the Kings, but
He did,
against the
yeah.
Timberwolves, but
Yeah.
yeah. Jokic
So far to start the season.
Jokic has been great, but that's kind of like it.
Yeah,
That's
it's
kinda all
Jokic. Yeah.
It's kind of all they've had going so far for them.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
Jokic
they're
has
a
been
team-
amazing.
That's going to regress a little bit. Like I still think they'll have like a respectable playoff spot, maybe even home court advantage. But I just don't see like a deep playoff run like they.
No,
I just don't even see the potential for that. Even
I
to
don't
upset
either.
the Clippers or Lakers, I don't see it.
I low-key don't see him even winning a series against like the Suns.
Yeah, no. I like the Suns more for sure.
That'd be.
Maybe these
it'd be
end up
competitive
being-
series for sure.
Maybe these
Yeah.
end up being like early season overreactions, but just based on what we've seen so far. So
Well, that's the point. Is like, are we overreact? That's the whole point of this.
yeah,
We want to get the overreactions out of the way and try to focus on like the real predictions. So on to the last team, which is Dallas, which has probably looked the worst out of all the teams that we had high expectations for. Because people were projecting them to be like third seed, Luka to be MVP. I mean, yeah, you got other teams like Brooklyn getting off to a bad start, Toronto, but I mean the Mavericks, they look,
And the thing about the Mavericks is everyone knew before the season started, like they were gonna need Luka to like play at an MVP level.
Yeah.
To get them to like a good place so that when Kristaps come back, they can just build on what they've already started. But Luka hasn't been. I mean, we can get into his 3-point shooting.
I was gonna say, isn't it like at
Baseball.
17%?
Yeah, no, his 3-point shooting is fucking terrible. But I think his overall play just hasn't been that good either.
It hasn't, and it's
He's like
really
a little
been
chubby coming in.
it's
Yeah,
really
Mark
been a
Cuban-
detriment to the team because like he's really their only spark. Like they don't really they brought Josh Richardson in, cool, but he's not that spark for you. And like Seth Curry can be that spark off the bench, kind of play make for you, go on some scoring runs. They don't really have that this year, or at least no one has shown up to be that guy.
Yeah.
No, they're waiting on
And they're-
Porzingis.
Yeah, and their defense has looked atrocious, gross. I don't want to watch. I turned the TV off.
That first Suns
That's not-
Mavericks
no, I'm
game
just
was disgusting.
That was some of the worst. That was bad. First of all, we've had some of the worst basketball likes ever.
Oh
Like
yeah.
this is probably the least entertaining first 2 weeks of basketball that we've seen.
Like when the same day the Clippers got blown out by 50, the Knicks beat the Bucks by 20, the Hornets beat the fucking Nets, the Celtics lost to I don't fucking know
Was it Pistons? Or Pacers?
No, they like lost to the Pacers bad, and it was just like
Something's been in the air
what the fuck is going on?
besides COVID, of course.
Nah, something's been really weird about this NBA season, which is kind of why I'm trying to not like overreact because I feel like something is just wrong with the league right now.
Listen,
know.
like
There's some bullshit going on for sure.
I think it has to do with kind of it's just the early start to the season. Maybe that's why some teams are off and they haven't gone to a rhythm, but there's been way too many like blowouts, and it's kind of like problematic in my opinion. Like this isn't good basketball at all.
Bad blowouts too.
Yeah.
Dude, I was watching the Knicks and Sixers game the other day. Holy crap. The first like half of that before the Sixers took over the game.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't watch the Sixers. I didn't watch the second half. I fell asleep. But that first half was horrible. I mean, that was some of the worst basketball I've ever seen.
I was gonna say real quick, that same day that I was mentioning that all those like blowouts happened where bad teams beat good teams, the Cavaliers also murdered the 76ers that day.
Yeah. That's right.
It just I don't know. The season just hasn't made sense.
Yeah.
Whatever, man.
It's early,
It'll get
but
back.
hey, man,
It'll get back.
Shout out
we
to
gotta talk
Tatum.
about something.
Shout out to Tatum and the Celtics for keeping it entertaining. Hey, 2 game winners already. I'm just saying. That boy different.
Shout out.
So
No, go ahead, Max.
yeah, so I'm just gonna wrap it up with the Mavs. I think we for sure ranked them a little too high to start the season.
Them. Yeah.
But that's not to say that they're going to be like doggy doo-doo for the rest of the season. They'll definitely get back into that playoff contention. It's just I don't think they're going to be I don't think they're going to be a home court advantage team unless a miracle happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They definitely do need like a pick and roll partner for Luka though. Like I was noticing that like they really need that, and Willie Cauley-Stein is just not that. Maxi Kleber, not that. Dwight Powell, not that. Like they need like a
Kleber.
No, he's good. Like he's a good shooter and stuff like that. Like and all these guys are like good rotation pieces.
Yeah.
But you need like a Zubats, or like a Dwight Howard, a guy that's literally just going to get rebounds and set screens. Like they need someone like that.
They're waiting. Yeah. When KP comes back, it's going to open up their offense a lot more. Obviously, we know that. And he's 7.
I still think on top of KP, they need like that rim runner type guy.
Maybe.
But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, just waiting for KP to come back. That's pretty much the biggest, storyline for the Mavs. Well, anyways, I don't think we have enough time for the New Year's resolutions. Let's just get into Defensive Player of the Year already.
AD.
Yeah, 80. I don't have much to say.
I don't know, man. If he keeps playing, if the Lakers just coast the whole season, and like
It could be Ben Simmons.
could be. I had another.
I saw some. Ooh.
It's gonna be Paul George. No, I'm kidding.
I had another pick in mind. You know what? I might say Marcus Smart. Screw it. No, that'd be a bad pick.
I was expecting Ethan to get hyped on that pick.
I could see that, but I don't know. I don't feel like Marcus Smart could ever get it just because he's small.
First of all, I feel like there's been no defense played in the NBA so far. So it's
I know.
I wish I could pull up the stat right now, but I can't find it. But Ben Simmons' defense has been really damn good this year. And I know we trash his offense, but that has nothing to do with Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm going to just throw my pick in as Ben Simmons.
Okay. So I'll say AD if the Lakers start trying. And if they don't, I don't know.
I'll just say AD. That was my pick before, and I think the Lakers are fine.
All right.
No, the Lakers are fine. They're just going to coast.
He has too much cachet to his name. If the Lakers get a top 2 seed, he'll get Defensive Player of the Year by default.
Yeah, possibly. But he hasn't looked that good on defense, to be honest with you, through these first 7 games.
He's probably had to clean up a lot more than last year around him. So.
Oh, that's true. But still, in general. All right. So, let's see how long this podcast is. Oh, it's definitely our longest podcast. All right,
yeah,
but let's wrap it up.
Kind of bad.
From the Contested NBA podcast, I am Max Tepper. That
I'm
is,
Cope.
and
Alex
that,
Noma.
Yes, sir. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe on Apple Music or Apple Podcast, Spotify. Promote us any way you can. Show support. I don't know. Spread the positivity. Spread the word that we are. It's getting late. I don't know what to say.
Like,
you guys
share,
get the message.
subscribe.
Yeah.
If there's
Like,
anything
share,
you disagree with us on, go ahead and contest it.
Go
We'll see
ahead
you
and
guys next
contest
time.
it.
Peace.